10:59 p.m. here on the East Coast. The first State of the Union address of Donald J. Trump's second term is in the books. You saw in the wide shot there, members rushing for the exits. If they hurry, they can maybe make it in front of the cameras and the iPhones in time for their local news and to get the reaction in. It was an extraordinary speech, the longest to a joint session in history, the longest State of the Union in history. In some ways, vintage Trump, combative, populist, historic for other reasons as well. The first part of the speech, all about the economy, an issue we know a lot of Americans want to hear about. He touts it, but he does so against a wall of negative opinion that we see in our polls. And then really all the energy of the speech, the heart of the speech, on culture issues through the middle. Immigration, gender, voter ID, and a line that wasn't in the script, but he ad-libbed. The first duty of elected officials is to protect Americans, not illegal aliens. He seemed at times to be goading Democrats into reacting, and at times they took that bait. On that note, let's go to Ed O'Keefe, who had a view from inside the chamber as we see the president shaking hands on his way out. Ed?
Tony, 1 hour, 47 minutes, 44 seconds from the president. Felt like a bit of a variety show at times as people came out of various doors here in the chamber to greet the audience, but it got ugly a few times in this deeply divided country. Perhaps no surprise there were visible displays of that divide here in the hall, most especially when the president discussed his ongoing push to remove undocumented immigrants and his new war on fraud, pronouncements that sparked fury among especially liberal Democrats here in the room. When he mentioned ongoing removal operations, for example, California Congressman Norma Torres held up a double-sided placard with the photos of Renee Good and Alex Preddy with the words premeditated murder underneath their face and names. They, of course, were killed by federal immigration agents during the Metro Surge operation in Minneapolis. Later, when they talked about fraud and accused, quote, Somali pirates of the fraud, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota shouted, "That's a lie. You're a liar." When he continued, when Rashida Tlaib of Michigan shouted, "You're killing Americans. You've killed Americans," the president stared them down as Republicans applauded. A reminder that he's bitterly divided with Democrats on that issue of immigration as he shakes hands here with a handful of the Republicans who stayed behind. The Democrats, Tony, cleared out as fast as they could.
I was wondering who that was. We have Major here at the table. I want to bring the conversation back here to our group watching along. Major, you've seen a lot of these, I think, more than any of us. What stood out to you?
Well, look, before the speech, many Republicans said one of the priorities for the president was to make sure Americans after this speech had a sense that the opposition party was off the rails, was crazy, their terminology, not mine. Many of the contrasts the president articulated tonight were to drive that message forward, that not only do I disagree with the opposition party sitting before me in Congress, but I disagree with them so strongly, and they with me so much, that they can't even applaud basic common sense thing. And that line that you mentioned, that he added to the speech, whether it was ad-libbed or not, the first obligation, American citizens versus illegal aliens, was meant to create a visual moment of perpetual contrast. It oversimplifies the issue dramatically. But if anyone has learned how to master that art, some call it a dark art in American presidential politics, it is Donald Trump, and that was on full display tonight.
Bob, you spoke to the president before this speech. Now you've seen it in action. Was it what you were expecting?
It was entirely who President Trump is, not just now, but going back to his first presidential campaign in 2016. Tonally defiant, blunt force politically on all of these issues, not so much making a speech, but a presentation and a recharacterization of the political reality, trying to put it in his fingerprints ahead of the midterms.
And the joint session is officially over, and that'll do it nearly for us. We're going to fit in a short break. Coming up after the break, the Democratic response from Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. You are watching CBS News. Stay with us.
So, Jessica, is there anyone you like?
Like anyone here?
Oh my gosh, let's do Home Court Explorer.
Yes, it helps you shop, quote, and buy the right coverage for you, even if it's not with us.
What do you think of this option?
You look so good together.
Don't hate me. I just told him that you're interested.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I know. Let's prank call each other.
That's not how that works, Jamie.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like life was moving on without me. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Caplyta. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Caplyta is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Call your doctor about new or sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks. Report fever, confusion, stiff muscles, which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High cholesterol and weight gain may occur, as can high blood sugar, which may be fatal. Common side effects are sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
Ask your doctor how Caplyta can help you let in the light. Find savings at Caplyta.com.
At Consumer Cellular, we only hire real humans right here in America.
I'm in America.
But can you help people find a wireless plan that's exactly right for them?
That's human work, at least at Consumer Cellular.
That's why we're ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
I wish I was human.
Hey, don't worry.
Yeah, we don't know how to go beep, bop, boop.
Beep, bop, boop.
See, look at you.
Yay!
Get the carrier ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Plans start at $20. Call Consumer Cellular.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me for the CBS Evening News.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
A blast from the past with Blair Underwood. It's the 30-year anniversary of Set It Off.
For real? That film blew up. I almost didn't do it, but I'm glad I did.
And she made history at her high school.
Got a swarm of applause.
Plus, hip-hop legend E40.
Easy for sheezy.
On J-Hud.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 4 on WZMQ CBS. Followed by The Kelly Clarkson Show at 5 and 19 News at 6. Here's your WZMQ CBS This Is Home Community Calendar.
MeTV presents Potter Poetry.
Bull cookies, horse hockey, pigeon pellets, monkey muffins. That's what she said.
Watch Colonel Potter on MASH.
Hot saucy.
Weekdays and Sundays at 7 on MeTV 19.1.
The biggest takeaways from tonight's State of the Union tonight.
Delivering the Democratic response to President Trump's address is Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, 46 years old, elected this past November, becoming the Commonwealth's first female governor. Spanberger served 3 terms in the House of Representatives and is a former CIA officer. With me at the table here is Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, what do we expect?
Well, Abigail Spanberger, as a congresswoman and now as governor, has been very much a moderate, campaigning strongly on energy prices, affordability, and in this special election, or in this period of time, this off-year election where she came to office, very much a focus here. You see her taking the podium.
Good evening and welcome
Famously
to
difficult
historic
job.
Williamsburg.
Let's listen in.
We are gathered here in the chambers of the House of Burgesses. In 1705, the people of the Virginia colony gathered here to take on the extraordinary task of governing themselves. Before there was a Declaration of Independence, a Constitution, or a Bill of Rights, there were people in this room. The people who served here ultimately dreamed of what a new nation, unlike anything the world had ever seen, could be. The United States was founded on the idea that ordinary people could reject the unacceptable excesses of poor leadership, band together to demand better of their government, and create a nation that would be an example for the world. And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state of our union. Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? As I campaigned for governor last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern everywhere. Costs are too high in housing, healthcare, energy, and childcare. And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country. Because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs. Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done. Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike on you and your family. And Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor. Rural health clinics in Virginia and across the country are already closing their doors thanks to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, championed by the president and Republicans in Congress. And tonight, the president celebrated this law, the one threatening rural hospitals, stripping health care from millions of Americans and driving up costs in energy and housing, all while cutting food programs for hungry kids. But here in Virginia, I am working with our state legislature to lower costs and make the Commonwealth more affordable. And it's not just me. Democrats across the country are laser focused on affordability in our nation's capital and in state capitals and communities across America. In the most innovative and exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business, or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again, is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no. I grew up in a house of service. My mother was a nurse, and my father was a career law enforcement officer. I began my career by following in my father's footsteps as a federal agent, working money laundering and narcotics cases. I worked side by side with local and state police to keep our community safe and to uphold and enforce the law. Law enforcement officers across the country know that it is a unique responsibility to do the serious work of investigating crimes, comforting victims, and making arrests. It's about building trust, and that requires an abiding sense of duty and commitment to community. And yet, our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities, where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be Americans. And they have done it without a warrant. They have ripped nursing mothers away from their babies. They have sent children, a little boy in a blue bunny hat, children to far-off detention centers. And they have killed American citizens in our streets. And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability. Every minute spent sowing fear is a minute not spent investigating murders, crimes against children, or the criminals defrauding seniors of their life savings. Our president told us tonight that we are safer because these agents arrest mothers and detain children. Think about that. Our broken immigration system is something to be fixed, not an excuse for unaccountable agents to terrorize our communities. After working in law enforcement, I continued my career of service as a CIA officer, working undercover to protect the United States and our allies from global threats, terrorism, nuclear weapons, and the aggression of adversarial nations around the globe. But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia, bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran. Here's the truth. Over the last year, through DOGE, mass firings, and the appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions, our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force for good. So I'll ask again, is the president working to keep Americans safe, both at home and abroad? We all know the answer is no. In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits from his rhetoric, his policies, his actions, the short list of laws he's pushed through this Republican Congress? Somebody must be benefiting. He's enriching himself, his family, his friends. The scale of the corruption is unprecedented. There's the cover-up of the Epstein files, the crypto scams, cozying up to foreign princes for airplanes and billionaires for ballrooms, putting his name and face on buildings all over our nation's capital. This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot. So I'll ask again, is the president working for you? We all know the answer is no. But here's the special thing about America. On our 250th anniversary, we know better than any nation what is possible when ordinary citizens, like those who once dreamed right here in this room, reject the unacceptable and demand more of their government. We see it in the determination of students organizing school walkouts all across the country, whose voices are becoming so powerful that the governor of Texas seeks to silence them. We see it in the bravery of Americans in Minnesota standing up for their communities, from peacefully protesting in sub-zero temperatures to carpooling children to school, so that their immigrant parents are not ripped away from them in the parking lot. As a mother of 3 school-aged daughters, I am inspired by their bravery, but I am sickened that it is necessary. And Americans across the country are taking action. They are going to the ballot box to reject this chaos. With their votes, they are writing a new story, a more hopeful story. In November, I won my election by 15 points. And we won 13 new seats in our state legislature. Because voters decided they wanted something different. Our campaign earned votes from Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everyone in between. Because they knew as citizens they could demand more, that they could vote for what they believe matters, and that they didn't need to be constrained by a party or political affiliation. This is happening across the country. New Jersey elected Mikey Sherrill as governor in a double-digit victory. Democrats flipped state legislative seats in places like Georgia, Iowa, Mississippi, and Texas. The list goes on and on. Ordinary Americans are stepping up to run in the spirit of our forefathers. They are running to demand more and to do more for their neighbors and communities. I know this story well. I first ran for office in 2018 alongside dozens of other Democrats who did the seemingly impossible, flipping 41 seats in Congress. In my case, I was the first Democrat elected in 50 years, swinging our district 17 points. Those who are stepping up now to run will win in November because Americans, you at home, know you can demand more and that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you. In his farewell address, George Washington warned us about the possibility of, quote, cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men rising to power. But he also encouraged us, all Americans, to unite in a common cause, to move this nation forward. That is our charge once more, and that is what we are seeing across the country. It is deeply American and patriotic to do so, and it is how we ensure that the state of our union remains strong, not just this year, but for the next 250 years as well, because we, the people, have the power to make change, the power to stand up for what is right, the power to demand more of our nation. May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and may God bless the United States of America.
Abigail Spanberger, the 75th governor of Virginia, delivering the Democratic response tonight. We've been watching it here in studio. White House correspondent Weijia Zhang along with us. It's a difficult job. She's out of prime time. The president made sure of that. How'd she do?
Well, Governor Spanberger won in November, and her victory was a real wake-up call for Republicans and for the Trump administration. And it is remarkable that she is now taking the two issues that President Trump used to win just a short time before her victory to turn it on its head and appeal now to voters to say, look, he might have won on promising the economy would get better and that his immigration policies would make you as Americans feel safer and more secure. But she's asking a simple question. Has he followed through? And she is arguing that the answer is no.
Bob, you were watching. Oh, Major, yeah.
Tony, real quick. Our polling unit has two symmetrical numbers that I think help us put the whole evening in context. Party affiliation of those planning to watch the State of the Union, 27% independents. Could Trump change your mind about him during the State of the Union? Might change my mind, 27%. Those independents are those whose minds might be changed. That's what the contrast for the Trump was about tonight. So the contrast provided by Governor Spanberger is about trying to find those points of contrast and interest and motivation for those lightly attached nonpartisans who are tuning in and calling themselves independents and who might, according to our poll, change their mind.
Lightly attached nonpartisans, also somewhat of endurance athletes if they're with us from the beginning of 8 o'clock.
Hour, exactly.
8 o'clock coverage straight through. Bob, any closing thoughts?
You see a contrast in the Democrats' message ahead of the midterm elections tonight. Some Democrats were speaking out on the House floor, yelling at President Trump, political war inside the U.S. House. And here you see a centrist governor from Virginia making her case.
And one with a national security background, second year in a row that the Democrats chose a female to represent the party with a national security background, as the president ended his speech talking about some of the most lauded accomplishments in our recent military history.
Yeah, it's an important punctuation point. Thank you for being so kind to an interloper from New York. And thank you to all of our viewers who stuck through us into this late evening. For all of us here at CBS News, that'll do it for our coverage. We'll continue right here on CBS News 24/7, and there will be more on your late local news. And, of course, tomorrow on CBS Mornings. I'm Tony DeCopel. Good night. And we are back. CBS News coverage of President Trump's State of the Union address. Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan is here with me. We were just finishing up on broadcast. We're back here on the stream. You were talking about how, in an interesting way, there was a symmetry between.
Stephen Colbert goes live with John Dickerson. CBS Tonight.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. Step 1, call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. Step 2, our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. Step 3, our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-279-0308. That's 800-279-0308. 800-279-0308 now, before the offer ends.
Are you tired of seeing money all around the house? Then start saving money with First American Home Warranty. First American covers the systems and appliances you depend on every day. And if we can't repair your covered item, we'll replace it.
I've saved thousands, and that makes me happy.
All plans include a no questions asked money back guarantee and flexible payment options, so you can never pay for covered repairs again.
Call 1-800-395-5945. That's 800-395-5945.
Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and join me Mondays for Life in the 906.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, the search continues for NMU student Trenton Massey. We'll have all the developments from the efforts earlier today. Plus, we'll have more on the bills going through Michigan aimed at putting more restrictions on how employers can use AI. And we're live in Washington, D.C. as President Trump wraps up his State of the Union address. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
And welcome in. A first look at your forecast. Maybe it's just a little tough to get out of bed. We're waiting for some warmer temperatures, but hey, if you love the cold, this has definitely been the winter for you, right? There's positives in everything in the forecast, usually I can find. Today, though, 24 the high, 28 is the official high that we should be for the average. 1.2 inches of snow. We have some temperatures into the teens tomorrow. That is below average with some lingering snow showers. I'll break down all your details and a sneak peek at the weekend in just a few minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. Night has fallen on the third day of searching for missing NMU student Trenton Massey. The 21-year-old Corunna, Michigan native was last seen early Sunday morning. Our own John Truitt explains how a video captured by a 19 News Skycam is helping in the search.
As confirmed by Marquette Police Chief Ryan Grimm, the last known location of Trenton Massey was captured on a 19 News Skycam overlooking the Founders Landing waterfront in downtown Marquette. The video, taken from the roof of one Marquette place at 3:24 a.m. Sunday, shows him stumbling toward the end of a dock before stepping to the right and out of view. Authorities say it's unclear whether he continued onto the ice or returned to shore. We are limiting the use of this video out of respect for the family. Searchers did, however, find a hole in the ice a short distance away and have been concentrating underwater search activities at this site.
If you do see something in a yard that needs to be addressed, I'll be in the...
The day began with dozens of community members gathered at the Hampton Inn for updated instructions before heading out in buses in organized teams. Ground crews focused on combing through snowbanks on the city's south side, near Genesee and Altamont streets, carefully covering the designated search zones, probing the new fallen snow. Massey, a Northern Michigan University student, was last seen early Sunday morning at a downtown bar. Law enforcement officials say surveillance footage shows Massey walking through town in the early hours of Sunday morning, appearing confused and unsteady. Investigators believe his behavior may have been consistent with hypothermia. At its height, the searchers numbered in the hundreds, with one NMU official telling 19 News that over 350 NMU students chose to spend their snow day on Monday searching for their missing classmate. Dozens of area businesses have donated food and supplies to aid in the search, from buses to transport volunteers to gloves and hats, and even the poles used to probe the deep snow. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
In a statement issued by Marquette City Police, the search for Massey has paused for the night and will resume tomorrow morning. Anyone wishing to volunteer is asked to report to the Hampton Inn at 10 a.m. Michigan Democrats and labor leaders are pushing new restrictions on how artificial intelligence can be used to monitor workers. They say surveillance software is already being used to track employees' movements, bathroom breaks, and even facial expressions. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has a rundown of those bills.
State lawmakers joined union leaders at the Capitol to unveil the Responsible AI and Security for Employees Act. The bills aim to create guardrails around how employers use artificial intelligence to monitor workers. Supporters say AI-powered surveillance is no longer a future threat. It's already happening.
Artificial intelligence has made these technologies more invasive, more widespread, and more all-encompassing, to the point where your employer can track how many times per day you need to visit the restroom.
The bill would require employee notification, data protection standards, and impact assessments before certain AI tools are used. It would also prohibit using AI to set wages. Michigan AFL-CIO president called AI one of the greatest threats facing the working class.
AI should not be a weapon used to harass, surveil, or intimidate workers. AI should be a tool that makes workers' lives easier.
Union leaders say in healthcare settings, AI is being marketed as a way to track whether nurses wash their hands or how long they spend with patients.
You cannot replace the judgment of a registered nurse, a human registered nurse, and think that the output of a machine is going to do a better job.
Supporters say the bill does not outright ban AI, but requires human oversight and limits invasive uses. Cernoglu says she's hopeful for bipartisan support, though no Republicans have signed on yet. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
February is Heart Month for Valentine's Day, but also to raise awareness about cardiovascular disease across America. Superior Health in Marquette is in their second year of spreading awareness peninsula-wide for cardio-related incidents. They've given multiple AEDs, automated